would like to talk about Demons, the Ninth Circle of Hell. It is a very well thought out, beautifully designed card game with the element of course, my favorite, dice rolling. Dice rolling is awesome because of the chances that are in it. You have to, have the luck. There's some strategy in every dice game you play, of course, but there's also the luck, and I just love that. Just all for the dice game. So this game, right off the bat, because it had the dice, was already something I was interested in. And after playing it, I am even more interested and involved in this game. It is a game that I love trying to get to the table and being able to get to the table and playing with so many different people. In this game, the goal is to, based on which version you want to play, there are so many different ways you can play. You have, you can play solo, you can play co-op, you can play against each other, you can play fighting the demons, you can play just fighting the gate of hell. So many different ways you can play this, so many different ways you can set the game up to make it simpler, harder, quicker, take a little longer, but no matter what, the end result is fighting either a demon or the lovely Gate of Hell. And I just love this Gate of Hell card. It is awesome. Like, who doesn't love a dragon popping out of a vortex? And this box that looks like occultist's book that they use to perform rituals to summon all of these demons and monsters. And of course the rule book, which is awesome. You got it to match. Love that. Love when the rule book also looks like a book, when the box itself also looks like a book. Love it. And then he also designed that the box would come apart so you can use the lid as your dice tray, because of course this game does revolve around rolling die. Now, in this game, everybody gets their own keep, which is basically your kingdom. There are so many different ones, and they have really interesting names, really cool banners. The artwork, again, in this game is awesome. I love it. So here you have the Iron Fist Keep. You have Maker's Point. And then you have Luckshire. There's also La La Land, Bloody Basin. Now in this game, you of course have your keep in front of you, and then you also get a token to match your keep. There's two different sides to your player token. One side has 3 stars on it, but only 2 are highlighted. The other side has the 3 stars highlighted. This is to tell you how many moves you have each turn. So like everybody's going to start out with only having 2, and then throughout the game you can spend your monster stones to upgrade and be able to flip your player token so that you have 3 actions for each turn. So it's pretty basic with the whole moving around. Of course, in the game you still have to move around in order to do different things like entering instances, which are your green cards. They create more or less different things. They're namesake instance. They happen automatically. Several different ways instances can come up. You will enter an instant where it's automatically, you draw the card and you're entered into the instant. Or if you happen to scout, that is just simply where you pick up an instant, you read it out loud, and you lay it in front of you, and you can choose whether or not you want to enter that instant. So next, if you don't enter it, next time around and you have to enter an instant or you choose to enter one, you can actually choose to enter that one you already had or the one you're going to draw. Because when you enter an instant, that's the difference between entering and scouting. You have to, no matter what, still draw another instant off of the deck. But if you had one you scouted, you can choose which one you're going to enter. So that's a nice thing about being able to scout. You can get ahead of time view as to what the instant's going to evolve, because no matter what in the instances, there's going to be fighting. Whether it's you're fighting the monsters that's within the instant, or the instant brings monsters to it. So your monsters are the purple cards. There's so many different kind of monsters in here. You have so many different. You have the Fiend. And you have Greg, who's the simplest monster to defeat. And whenever you defeat him, you don't gain monster stones. Because, after all, he's probably not really a monster. But who knows. But you get to steal his wallet instead. And when you steal his wallet, you get monies instead of monster stones. And another really cool one is the Weird Giraffe. Now, the cool thing I like about this one is if you get this one, you have several other monsters that pop up for you to fight. He's a skittish fellow. That's his, I guess you'd call it, special ability. Where the Weird Giraffe gets -2 life for each other player in combat. And he has a life force of 8. But if you have 4 other monsters with him, he's so skittish he killed himself. Poor fella. I feel so sorry for him, but hey, still get my monster stones out of it, so won't complain too much there. Now there are certain monster cards that will bring out another monster. Instances will bring out several monsters. It just all really depends on which cards you get, which monsters you get, as to how many you're going to have to fight at one time. But no worries. It is totally a doable thing. Because the nice thing with this game, since you roll die, which these are your combat die, all of these beautiful little things, and I love it because they're wood, so they just sound so much better than your plastic die. Have different symbols on each side, which means different things. Like this is one. This means 1 damage. This is a shield, and then you also have like wind, fire, lightning, rain, and all those play parts based on your weapon cards, which are the red ones, as to what those symbols might mean for you. Some of the symbols based on your weapons and your keep might not mean anything. So let's just say you had the bow. So with the bow, whenever you roll a lightning bolt, you deal 2 damage. So I thought that was pretty cool. You also have, let's see here, you have the black powder grenade. So you can use this to deal 1 damage, and then when you use it, you're going to exhaust it. So that's what that means. So if it has the little symbol that means to turn it, that means exhaust. There is action while you are inside your keep to refresh your kingdom, which just simply means flipping all of your cards so that they are no longer exhausted, so you can use them again in battle. Certain cards are a one-time use. Certain cards are based off of whatever you roll on your die. Now, every keep also, which sets everything apart, has their own special abilities as well. Like, my personal favorite, as I've played with somebody who had this keep, is La La Land. So, whenever you have La La Land, you have one special ability that is called Sucks for You. Whenever another player dies, you gain 10 resources. So, these are your lives. Based on which way you play the game, how you play the game, is based on how many lives you get. There is one option in there where you don't get any at all. None of these little fellas. So, you can choose how many lives you want people to start with. But every time somebody loses one of these lives because a monster killed them, or they died from an instant, or the roll of the die that killed them, La La Land gets 10 resources. Your resources are actually pretty simple to remember, in my opinion. Green are worth 1. Green $1 bill. Love it. The yellow are worth 5. So you only have to deal with 1s and 5s. So in the game, whenever you go to the marketplace, which are going to be your red cards, which is where you buy your weapons, you're going to have in the top right hand corner a little treasure chest that has a number inside. That is how much resources the weapon cost to purchase to go into your hands. And then there's also where, while it's in your hand, you can take an action to construct it then. And when you construct it, it stays face up in your keep and then is yours to use. So whenever it comes to weapons you purchase, you have it in your hand and then you construct. So that number comes in play twice. That's how much it costs to purchase it, and that's how much it costs to build it. So money is a big thing. You want to try to get as much money as you possibly can in this game, which is actually easier than what you would think. When purchases things from the marketplace, you're going to put them in your keep, and from your keep you're then going to spend more resources to construct them and place them in your keep, and that's how you gain more weapons to use in battles, more abilities to use in order to defeat the monsters. Now there's different ways you can earn more resources. One of them is selling cards from your hand, from your keep. You can sell off your monster stones that you've earned from defeating different monsters. And then you can also receive resources via the quest cards. So for example, the quest card of it takes money. You make 8 resources in a single turn. You then get to gain 3 more. You also have quest cards that will help you gain other things like mercenaries, which are these guys right here. They can be used in battle. They're worth 1 damage. So for hyped up, you get to count 3 lightning bolts in 1 combat round. Then you get to gain a mercenary. So there's so many different quest cards you can have also in this game. There's a lot going on. You also have, if you choose to work together, you have co-op. There's lots of co-op options also. That's cool. And then if you really want to add in demons, you can add in demons. So here you have Abaddon. There's lots of demons you can have. You have, let's see here if I can find my favorite. You have Luki. And then there's also Lilith, the Temptress. The artwork on all of these monster cards are amazing. So this game plays 1 to 8 players. I found it works out pretty well with 4 players. Gives it a nice length of the game. It's not too long, not too short. So check out the game. Demons and Ninth Circle of Hell. It's really awesome. Totally worth the look. Totally worth getting and putting it to the table every time. You're going to have people that want to come over and just want to play this game because it's simple. There's lots of different ways of playing it. It's almost like your games that have like the storyline where you want to complete it in certain orders and everything, but yet it's really not. There's a lot of things you can do that's storyline in a way based, and others where it's really not, but there's no sequence to anything, so that's kind of cool. So no matter what you do, it's always going to be different. You're never going to get the same monsters out every single game. No one's going to be playing the same exact keep every single time. So it's totally worth the look. So check it out. Just see, even if you just see the artwork, there's so much going on in this game that I don't want to give away any surprises, like all the different creatures and demons that you could be fighting, all the different weapons you could be purchasing and using. Now, one other thing they did add in for the game is friends and pets. So you have the pets here, lots of pets. Of course, always have to have the black cat. And there are different friends who you can have added into the game. For example, you have Gwyneth, the Royal Witch. So there's lots of elements to this game, but totally worth looking into, checking in. getting the game. Everything is so well put together. The artwork's awesome. Even the names of half of these cards are hilarious. It'll add a comedy factor to it, but yet it's going to be real serious because you want to defeat whatever you've set out to defeat, whether it be the last one standing, be the first one to defeat the gate of hell, take on the demons, whatever you choose to do. There's lots of elements to this.